Welcome back, everybody. This is a live call-in show at 727-8750. We did have a bit of a change-up for tonight. This is the last Thursday night before the election on Tuesday. And then next week we will have Susan Holacek, the town manager, on to discuss how the elections went. And maybe those guys doing the poll outside will be there. But I'm here with candidate for sheriff, Rick Marshall, who is going to be here for the next 15 minutes, and then we will have Judge Lane come on. So anyway, Mr. Marshall, back to you running for sheriff. It really seems to be an enduring thing. You'll probably be happy once the primary is over with.
I will be. We look forward to moving on to the general. It's up to the voters to make that determination, but we will be. We'll be ready to move on. We'll be ready for the results. And my wife is looking forward to it being over.
Well, I believe so. She probably is. I'm not even in this. My wife's looking forward to it. But anyway, going into the general, do you think things will calm way down after that, or do you think the same?
I think the same group will be going on. I think they'll continue their. I call them mudslinging, dirty campaigning. I think they'll continue with their lies. I think there is such a hatred in that group. And two of the main sponsors don't even live here in Nevada. They live in Utah. But I think that they'll carry forth. But I think people are tired of them. I think people are tired of the mudslinging. I think they're tired of the dirty politicking. I have people telling me because of them, they're voting for me. When I was up in Jim Butler, I had a prominent citizen come to me and say, because they put these signs up, because they've attacked your wife, because they've attacked your family, because they've attacked your friends, I'm telling everybody to vote for you, just to throw it back on them.
All right, well, we have a caller on the line. You just about answered that, but anyway, his name is Mark. Mark, you have a question for Mr. Marshall.
Yes, sir. I wanted to know what you thought about the negative campaigning that's being used. In my opinion, it's a vote for you because the people using the negative campaigning don't have anything good to say about themselves, so they come after you. What do you feel about that?
You know, Mark, I absolutely agree, and I get that as a political candidate, I'm a target. But when you have Travis Huggins posting on the Pahrump Valley Times website that I farmed out my daughters in high school for sex to get my lawns mowed and my cars washed, that just crosses the line, and it's an absolute lie. The Pahrump Valley Times was wonderful. When I contacted them, they immediately took it down. They apologized. And that type of negative campaigning it's just, I believe that it's driving people that would not have voted for me to my camp, or people that were on the fence saying, you know, if they're going after him this much, there must be some reason that they don't want him in office. And their lies are so outlandish. One of the things I promised my wife when I first decided to run for sheriff was that I would not get involved in the negative mudslinging campaign. And I can look my wife in the eye every night and say, I'm not involved in that, and I'm not going to be involved in it. A lot of people want me to lash back at it, and I've told them no. I will let them self-destruct through the negative campaigning, because I believe America as a whole is sick and tired of the negative campaigning and the mudslinging that goes on.
All right, well, we do have another caller, and this is Bill. You have a question for Mr. Marshall.
Yeah, hello, Mr. Marshall. My question is, what do you think the biggest problem with the Mack County Sheriff's Office is that you're going to fix? The second part of the question is, once the election's over, how soon is it going to be that you're going to get all the election signs pulled and removed so they're not cluttering up the whole town? Thanks.
The second question, my signs will be pulled the day after the election. They'll be pulled the day after the election, they'll be pulled. The first question, the biggest problem within the sheriff's office that I see right now is involving the public and getting that trust and confidence back in the sheriff's office. And we're going to do that through community outreach. We're going to do that through putting the officers back in the neighborhoods, putting the officers talking to the public, making the public aware that we are public service officers, that we serve the public, not the other way around. And I think that we're going to do that. I think it's going to be a cultural change, but we're going to do it, and we're going to hold our officers accountable all the way up to me, the sheriff.
Well, you know, I think now on the first question, wasn't it, isn't there something like 30 days after the election people have
To remove their signs.
Yeah, I mean, you said you're going to start pulling yours right away, but
Yes.
people do have up to 30 days, don't they, get those signs pulled down?
They do.
Oh, okay.
But I agree with the caller that with so many signs out there, it is cluttering up the landscape. You know, somebody puts a sign up and then you think that's a good spot to put a sign, so you put a sign up. Then somebody else says, wow, that's a good spot, and they put a sign up. And my signs will come down the day after the election.
All right, we have another caller online. His name is John. John, go ahead. Are you there, John?
Hi, how are you? Hey, I just went on the reserve deputies. Yeah, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
They turn around and hand out the tickets. Why do they hang on to them for so long? Because I've been to the courthouse 2 or 3 times.
The reserve deputies are not, well, any deputy is not supposed to be hanging on to their citations. Generally, the citations get written and then they're turned in that day prior to the end of their shift, and sergeants then approve them and send them on. But no officer should be hanging on to citations unless it has to do with a further investigation that they're doing. But if the citation is completed and handed out, then it's supposed to be turned in at the end of their shift.
All right, well, I got a question for you, maybe. I had a person ask me the other day about when the Highway Patrol gives a ticket on Highway 160, do those funds go to Nye County or do they go to the state?
Those funds go to the state. And when our officers write citations, if they write under the state code, the majority of the funds go to the state and a small portion comes back to Nye County. If they write under the county code, then the bigger portion goes to Nye County and a smaller portion to the state.
So I should tell all those people out there that are getting tickets for traffic, try to make sure it's under Nye County and not the state, so that way at least your money will come back to Nye County.
Well, if they have to get a ticket, and I can't think of the last time I wrote a citation. I was never a big ticket writer, but if they have to get one, then yeah, we'd like it to come back to Nye County.
Okay, once again, folks, this is 727-8750 live call-in show. And I owe a big thanks to Mr. Marshall for coming on in such a short notice. He only had a few minutes, and Mr. Lane came in too, so.
It was my pleasure to be here.
Well, we're not quite done yet, but we're getting close to it. So anyway, all I can say is people, please, if you're going to pass a rumor, don't pass a rumor. If you know the truth, fine, go ahead with the truth. If you got nothing, my grandfather always said, you got nothing good to say about somebody, don't say nothing at all. So that's
my dad used to say, no matter how flat you make a pancake, there's 2 sides to it.
Yeah. But anyway, I would like to once again thank you for being here, because I really appreciate it. I would have been sitting here by myself tonight because of the late, cancellation. But it sounds like we have maybe one more call coming in. So anyway, then this is the last weekend. You got the whole weekend booked up with things?
We got the whole weekend booked up.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to be up north, we're going to be in the central part of the county, and we're going to be down south.
Well, that's why I haven't started booking people for the month of June, is because I figured even the ones, everybody's going to want to take a break after the primary. Okay, we do have a caller online. It's Jim. Jim, go ahead with your question. We do have about a minute left. Jim?
Yes, Mr. Marshall, I'd like to know, what is the Sheriff's Department policy regarding stress leave for deputies, and then they're out running around town? I would think that would be a fraud.
Well, I can't really address that. That's been turned over to the district attorney, District Attorney Brian Coonsey, because those officers were involved in an incident involving myself. We've turned it over to both the Attorney General's office and to the District Attorney Brian Coonsey. However, in general terms, when somebody's out on sick leave or some sort of leave, they have certain contractual obligations that require them to be at certain places if they're not at a doctor's office and things like that.
All right, well, we're going to be going to a break now, and we'll be coming back with Judge Lane. I want to thank you very much.
Thank
Take
you
care,
for having
good
me.
luck, and thank you for coming in.